Hello, teenagers, and welcome. We just had a very wonderful experience at the August hybrid edition of the Teens Global Summit. And of course, those who followed online know that we had the privilege of receiving the National Youth Pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Sola Owoeye. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
That was a very wonderful ministration. I was blessed. I was so blessed. And I'm very sure that teenagers all over the world were blessed as well. Thank you so much, sir, for being a blessing to us.
Thank you.
And we know that this is the beginning of what God is going to do in our lives as a result of what God helped you do through that ministration. So we just have one or two questions that we'd like to ask you, just so that we are well positioned for the future and we are well positioned for heaven, a beautiful home. So, sir, based on what you have experienced and the ministration that we just had, how do you think teenagers can be better prepared to take their place in that mansion that Christ has created for them in heaven?
You know, one thing about God is that God determined the end from the beginning. You know what happened? God put heaven in place, which is the ultimate end, and take man backward to come and walk you to get to the place. And it is what you do that will take you to that place He has determined, even from the beginning. So where you are going, God determined it from the very ongoing, and now take you back to start working it. You have a picture, you have a mental picture of where you are going, but there is a process that will take you to that place where you are going. And all the teenagers need to do, it is the work we do here on earth that will make us to have a reward in heaven. And it is the kind of life, the quality of life we live that take us to heaven. Your quality of life will take you to heaven, and the work you do will attract to reward in heaven. You can get to heaven and not get reward. But you cannot get to heaven without living a quality life. So there's a place of living a quality life, and there's a place of living a life that is productive for you to have something as a reward in heaven. So, number one, living a godly life that will give meaning to the work you are doing for God. Because if you are not living a godly life, whatever you are doing for God can be rubbish. There's also some people will work, and that person will take the place of their reward. May we not labor for another one to hit. So the quality of our life will define the kind of work we are doing. So what I would just tell the teenagers is number one, living a life that is quality in Christ. That is the way of life, the way you live your life in a godly manner. So that your working for Him will not be rubbish at the end of the day. Now it's not also enough for you to get to heaven and be an amount to nobody in heaven. Because there'll be rank in heaven. There'll be levels in heaven. A man of 1 star cannot sit in the midst of a man with 5 stars. So there are levels in heaven. So what I'm saying is that I will encourage the teenagers not to get carried away, not to be given to the youthful exuberant, not to be given to youthful lust that will derail them and get distracted. They should remain focused, and remaining focused and get occupied with the things of God. Now, in the recent time, as an individual, we're already looking out for young people, vibrant teenagers, who are what it takes to drive growth, who have the gift of God in their life that is looking for or finding expression. Now I want to begin to create a platform for them to express themselves. Because when you are busy, you don't become a devil's workshop. A idle hand turn to devil's workshop. So when you are occupied, there are sins that will never meet you at all. Why? Because you have gone elsewhere to do the work of the Most High God. So show me a man that is at work. I will show you a man that will never be given to committing sins. When you are too busy for God, enemy will not have you and have a hold of you. And you cannot be a man of pursuit. And when you are pursuing things, nothing will pursue you. Because you yourself, you are into pursuit. A man that is not pursuing anything, everything will pursue him. Even witches and wizards will pursue him. Sin will pursue him. Everything will catch up with him. A man that is on the run cannot be pursued because he already pursued himself. He's already running after something. So when you're on the run, nothing can pursue you again. It is when you are stationary that something puts you on the run. But when you're on the run, nothing pushes you to be on the run. You're already on the run, running. So what we are saying is that the teenagers should be sold out totally to the things of God. And in our own little way, We are creating a platform. Just before we came for convention, we have established 2 churches for teenagers. In fact, my focus now is teenagers. We just launched Young Church Planters Network in RCCG. And my focus is not to create platform for older generation, but for younger generation, most especially the teenager.
Teenagers. Thank you so much, sir. That was very, very, very deep and very in depth. And the thing that you said last just made me to remember that Daddy Joe was saying that the vision of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, number one, is to make heaven, and then number two is to take as many people as long with us. And that's one of the things that Teens Global Summit has really keyed into, to make sure that we drive teenagers and bring them out of place of obscurity, immoralities, and sin, and bring them into the reality that they have or they can make heaven. So now, my next question is that how do you think the Teens Global Summit can position themselves even more to achieve that mandate and to reach more teenagers all over the world, to make sure that Vision 2032 and the mandate of the Redeemed Church of God is achieved?
All right. Now, the Teenagers Global Summit should not be limited to expression, but to be translated to action. Talk is cheap, actually, it's expensive. Even though whatever you keep talking about will surely happen someday, but you talk to it and you also activate the talk. You act the talk. Now, it's not in the staying, it's in the going that God is involved. So when you get going, you never can tell how far you will go when you start going. And it is in the going you begin to see God in action. So I will also advise very strongly that this Teenagers Global Summit should not be limited to talking alone, to show alone, but to go and show up out there on the feed. Not to be showing up on the media,
online,
but to also show up on the feed.
Because
that is where the real work is. And not to show up on the field, you never see the God on the field
Pastor,
backing you up.
I think you have just prophesied. You have just prophesied for us that we are going into the field.
Exactly.
Online, we have dominated the online space, talking to teenagers all over the world in different languages. I think that I want to say that yes, we would now show up physically.
Now begin to walk the talk.
And begin to walk physically.
The talk.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.